Family Matters was at the top of the agenda on this week's SmackDown. The Battle of the Dads, the Battle of the Crown, the Battle of the Laughs. It was all going down on another edition of SmackDown, and we're going to talk it all and break it all down on the Smack Attack. Hello, Money James McIver, alongside my partner in crime, as always, back from his staycation, his vacation, whatever it was, John Enright. Welcome to the Smack Attack. This looks good. Hopefully this is going to work okay. No technical issues, no fucking bullshit.
Right.
Fingers crossed. If you're on the chat, say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Hello. How are we doing?
Good, man. You know, last week was not a staycation. Last week was work.
Yes.
I was getting paid to officiate a wedding, but it was over 2 hours away. So I knew I was not going to be able to give you time. I was going to have to rush you, because I had to leave by 1 to get there by 3 because the wedding was at 4. So, you know, it was a whole thing. And I'm talking BFE, Texas. You know, you the closest thing you're going to see is a cow. Yeah. And literally in a converted barn. You know, that's been a big venue. A lot of places here, wedding venues now are essentially converted barns. And so that's been the whole cool hip wedding thing. So, but hey, it was about $400 for 15 minutes worth of work, really. So
really,
Man,
I mean, I need to get in on that action, by the way. That's just like
no, it's how being a wedding officiant is pretty good. I mean, if you don't count the cost of gas, which that was probably about a half a tank of gas going there and back with my vehicle right now, and just putting the mileage on it. So a gas right now for us, that'd probably be about $20. Something like that for gas, for that entire trip. So minus that, I did get a flat on my way back. So there was that.
I saw that. It was like the perks of the job.
Yeah, it's part of it, because I live west of Fort Worth, and this was northeast of Dallas. So I'm having to take major roads, and of course they're all, crap, and there's just junk everywhere. I'm in the left lane cruising. All of a sudden I see this, it looks like a block or something in the road. So I swerved to miss it. Well, my front tire misses, but I think I clipped it with my back tire and just completely blew it out. Yeah. And then, so mind you, I'm in my jacket's off, but I'm in my dress shirt, tie, everything like that. But, so I've already got my sleeve rolled up. The tie's kind of already done because, the wedding was over. I put on my mechanics gloves. I go to get everything and start changing the tire. So mind you, I'm in a suit, but I have mechanics gloves on, right? Because I'm like, I'm gonna protect my hands. But
getting the gloves on.
Yeah, I did. Well, so then the brilliant gentleman who put on my tires over torqued them, so the tire, I couldn't shake it off. I got the lug nuts off. I mean, I had to jump on the the pry bar to get them off. But it's all jacked up, and I'm trying to get off. I can't get it off. And so I have to call roadside assistance because I have no other tools. I have nothing. And I'm trying to hit on it, trying to do everything I can. I'm not reaching it. So it starts raining, like off and on raining. So I'm out there getting soaked in a white dress shirt, no undershirt. And so now it looks like I'm in a wet t-shirt contest wearing khaki dress pants and a white shirt. And then the guy shows up and he tries to jack on it and then doesn't work. He grabs a rubber mallet, comes from behind, pops it 3 times, and then pops off. So, I needed roadside assistance. It's usually for the guy's mallet to get it off and then got everything back on and on the road on a donut. So, but then I go to my local tire shop because I can get a $45 used tire. They don't have any in my size. He's like, but, let me check what else I got. I said, okay, man, whatever you got cheapest. He goes, man, I had a $114 one. I say, okay, cool, that's fine. But I don't have it. But I have 165. I was like, well, is that the cheapest you got? I got to do it. So between the gas and there, I lost half my money from the weekend.
Jesus.
But anyway, and then I got sick Monday and Tuesday. I got a head cold, so I didn't even get to work Monday and Tuesday But I have sick time, so I use that. But still, I didn't even get to work Monday or Tuesday because I was just so bad off. And so it was a crazy weekend. So it wasn't all fun and giggles as you're thinking. It was work, and it cost me a little bit, but
paid an experience.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
expansion of your brands. That's what that is.
Whereas this weekend is a little different. My girlfriend's 2 sons are at the NASCAR race that are here in Texas. So she has no kids at home. So we're going to have an afternoon, and I don't have my son. So we're going to have an afternoon, evening date thing. We're going to go watch some live wrestling out in Fake, Texas tonight. So,
nice.
If anybody watches New Japan Strong, we're going to go see Barrett Brown. He's out there. And some other local wrestlers, Big Fitz, and some other guys that wrestle out there that I know. So we're going to go check it out. As a matter of fact, I shared the post for the organization, and one of the wrestlers was like, "Hey, you going to come?" And that I've gotten to know, and I was like, "Well, it is date night with my girlfriend." He says, "You should bring her." And we had a whole conversation, and basically she jumps in and she goes, "This whole conversation is hilarious. Okay, so I'm sold. We're going to watch wrestling." So she's never watched wrestling before, really live wrestling. So getting to watch wrestling. This is why I'm wearing my Wrestling is Forever hat from Matt Cross and my New Japan G1 Texas shirt. So so we're gonna do that this evening. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun day. So, but barring all that, that meant I had to watch SmackDown last night. So
we'll get into that in a little bit for that. Yeah, I'm getting my vaccination tomorrow. I've got my needle tomorrow morning. God's got a sense of humor because, like, I don't mind getting the vaccine. What I do mind is first thing in the morning on a Sunday. Come on, guys, come on, give me give me 1 o'clock or something. No 9. Where's Sundays for lying in? That's a. And the Lord said on Sunday there's the day of rest. What the fuck? I've been robbed of my long lie on a Sunday.
No, your rest is going to be after you get that shot. Your ass is going to be in bed all day. So
I don't know. Well, it's mixed results. Like the one I'm getting, a lot of people have been getting dead arms. I can live with a dead arm for 2 days, like even though I need my arms for like fixing stuff. But I can live with that. I've not got a problem, and it's free. So I don't, there's that too. I don't mind that. But I'm getting that, and then it's the Euros. Euros started yesterday.
Right.
Big game with Italy and Turkey. Got a nice 3-0 win. Scotland kick off against the Czech Republic on Monday. I'm trying to eke out an early finish to watch it. Trying? Like, mate, come on. Can I finish at 2 o'clock? Come on. Let me finish.
You would think that would be like a national holiday for you guys if, y'all everybody would be like, screw it, take it off.
Well, the schools are still open, but what they're going to do, well, a lot of them anyway, unless they're dicks, is they're actually going to let the kids watch the game for 90 minutes, which is great. So they can, because it's only 90 minutes. What's that in a day? Like people, I've seen people complain, it's like they should be doing their schoolwork. They should be doing maths and English. It's like, nah, fuck that. 90 minutes. And you only got like 3 weeks till the summer holidays. Like, hard work's done. Let them watch 90 minutes of Scotland play. We might never get it again.
Yeah.
So I'm glad for it. So I'm excited and buzzing. We've got it's a big group for us. We've got Czech Republic on Monday. Then we've got England on the Friday. That's the big one.
Oh, wow.
That's the one where it's like all the cards are on the table. We have to beat them. Last time we played England, it was 2-2. And we should have won it. But it was a last-minute goal. 2 sensational free kicks from Lee. It's beautiful. If it was up to me, I'd get him on that pitch for this game as well and just get free kicks all day long. But here am I. But I'm buzzing for that. The game that's on just now got stopped. We were talking about it just came off the air. Right. Christian Eriksen collapsed on the pitch. He was getting CPR and treats. So if you have been following, we've not heard any news on that apart from that. But hopefully he's okay. Fingers crossed that he comes out of this all right. I don't want another Fabrice Mwamba moment where he passes away on the pitch. That's a scary thing. You don't want anyone to go down. And it's interesting because I know we're going to talk about wrestling a bit. Don't worry. I will talk about wrestling. We'll be there.
Hey, it's the fucking Euros, guys. Shut up. It's important.
You're going to get 4 weeks of this. Accept it. So. But no, there was like a big talking point this week in football was having defibrillators on hand.
Right, but don't they?
No, they don't. They've not. It's not a legal thing for football at the moment. They don't legally have to have them.
How do EMTs and shit not have that?
Fucking bonkers, right? So you've got EMTs and you've got access to ambulances, but you can't have a defibrillator on the pitch. And this is exactly the moment where we need one. So if he doesn't pull through, this could be a total shame. He's only in his late 20s. I think he's like 28, 29 or something like that. Still young. It could be a career. If he makes it, it might be an end of his career. It might be because stuff like it's.
No, there's no way. There's no way he's coming back from something like that. If you're having to get jump started on the pitch, with CPR because you don't have a fucking defibrillator on the pitch. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, NFL, NBA, a lot. Okay, so I will give it to you. You guys have good universal health care and shit like that. But sometimes y'all do some of the dumbest shit sometimes. Like, how the hell do you not have that? The first kid that had that happen to, and they didn't have a defibrillator, they became mandatory here. So every school has a defibrillator. Every rec center has a defibrillator. Every place has a defibrillator of some sort that is a public gathering where sports is played. And then, it is just mandatory now.
It's common sense. It's just absolute common sense. You'd want to know no matter what happens to you, you're tooled up for the situation, even if it's just to get you over the line and into the ambulance.
Right.
And then they can take care of the nuts and bolts of it.
Because trust me, I have had to do that before. I don't talk about a lot, but like when I worked for the city of Watauga at their rec center, we had a guy collapse, have a heart attack. At the end of the day, when we were closing up shop, we let him stay because his brother drove up from Burleson, which is about 45 minutes or so. So we let them usually stay on Saturdays after. We counted money and everything, and then we would, get everything kind of shut down and say, "Okay, Joe, it's time to go." Well, we're counting money and we're closing up, and his brother starts screaming from the gym. There's glass around the gym, but you could hear it and everything. And so I'm like, why is he yelling? Like, it's the end of the day. Come on. And I look up and I see Joe's on the floor. So my buddy and I, Seth, we run in there and he's like, he can't breathe. I can't, he's having a heart attack. He's like, okay. I said, calm down. We had done our CPR training and everything like that, first responding training. And so I said, let me check for a pulse. He was breathing, but his breathing was erratic and I couldn't find a good pulse. So I looked at Seth. I said, Seth, I can't find a pulse. Go call dispatch, because we were a city facility. So we had direct line to our dispatch and police and everything rather than calling 911. And sometimes where we lived, you got routed to North Richland Hills or other areas. We had direct access to our city. And so I started CPR, and he didn't need breathing because he was breathing. So I was just doing chest compressions. I ended up having to do that for about 4.5 minutes because I told him to go find the defibrillator and, and call dispatch. So they called dispatch and then find the defibrillator. He couldn't find the defibrillator because unfortunately we kind of put it in a place where it was inaccessible and buried behind other things. So 4.5 minutes, I'm doing CPR on this guy, just trying to keep him alive. Jesus. I'm about to pass out because I'm literally just said he finally shows up. He's like, I can't. I was like, okay, dude, you need to take over. I'm about to pass out. I need to get some water. I'm going to catch my breath. So I get up, and then about 30 seconds later, there's a knock at the door. It's the EMTs. They show up. And so I go to the door, and I said, I've been performing CPR for about 4.5 minutes. My partner took over about 30 seconds ago. He's, he is erratic breathing. I couldn't find a pulse. We've just been doing CPR. And they said, okay, we walked him in. And he ended up surviving. They got the defibrillator and they CPR'd him some more. And it took about 45 minutes, but they got him eventually to where they can get him to a hospital. But, it was just, it's a mess. And so to do that on a thing like the soccer pitch, and, that's the thing is you got to stabilize the guy before you can even move him.
That's it. So
to do that through CPR is a pain in the ass.
Well, that was like a good 25 minutes that they were treating him from what I was hearing. Sorry, I was a bit distracted because someone just messaged me. He's awake. Okay, so apparently he was responsive when they got him off. So that's just from like photos surfaced online. That's what I'm getting. So thank fuck for that. Yeah, you don't want to scare like that.
Especially when you have something like this, the Euros, where the world is watching. Europe is watching. The world is watching. You got your best of the best coming together, and you got to be overly protective of something.
Yeah,
like
you don't want this to happen. You want it to be like a fun time and a celebration. This is sort of the unfortunate thing in sport, and hopefully we don't see it again. Hopefully he's okay. And as I said, stuff like this makes you question how his career is going to go after that. He's alive and well. Thank Lord. But it's always interesting to have these sort of discussions about like health. It doesn't get done enough. When we have it seems like such a out there thing to think of as a defibrillator. Like how often percentage wise would you need it? And it's almost the same in wrestling. I'm surprised that we've not, for the amount of time we've had on an international stage or like WWE, AEW, TNA, or Impact now, or New Japan, how little you have to see, how little you have to see something like this happen, or someone getting defibrillated or anything like that.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's such good luck, and maybe it's down to the training and how well they won. But you always have that fear of what would happen if something. You don't want to think about it, but like,
right.
are they prepared for this? Obviously, they've got EMTs.
Well, yeah, they are, because I do know that they, from hearing Dr. Alex and some other people that I know, when they go to these shows, when WWE comes to town, that's one of the things is they have an ambulance with full EMT staff, defibrillator, everything when they come to town. So like, that's not necessarily the case. Texas is not a commission state. There's no athletic commission here as far as I know, that monitors anything like that. So like, you might not necessarily have that at some of these independent shows, but I do know that when WWE comes to town, that's standing operating procedure. Hey, Sonic the Hedgehog, it's good to see you, my man. So that is standard operating procedure, at least from what I've heard from everybody when WWE comes to town, is that there is a doctor and there is a EMT on site to make sure everything's okay. It's not like they're checking blood pressures before the guys like some of these athletic commissions, because we're Texas, we don't do that. We're land of the free and home of the brave. It is, but you do have to kind of wonder these things, because I've been to plenty of independent shows where I watch some of these guys do some absolutely bonkers shit, and you're just going, all right, well, if somebody hurts or gets something done that bad, then I don't want to, how's that going to be handled, kind of thing. And, it could break a promoter, With speaking of promoters, next week, we're going to be having Texas promoter and wrestler Kiefer Bartek, the sheriff, on next week.
Looking forward to that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to pluck his brain and the Booker side of things as well. I can almost see him breaking down this whole show and then rebooking it.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool.
It'd be great to have. He's going to come talk about that and his promotion and what he and everything about that. But then and then a few weeks after that, we're going to have my good friend Jackson Stone on. So we're working on that. So Jackson and I are
going to be a belter. We've got some fun stuff coming up here.
Oh yeah,
an old summer for us.
Yeah, well, I might try to get some of my other wrestling friends, make them watch SmackDown and suffer with us, and then get their perspective on it.
And I know the vet is interested in coming back, despite the technical shenanigans that we had. Hopefully, he's still up for coming on. And of course, Rob is always Rad Rob's going to be at some point as well, which I think it'd be good to have like all of us together for
a panel. SmackDown. It'd be great to have. I would love to see a panel for that first SmackDown that's in Houston. That's going to be with a live crowd, where we all get our perspectives in and say, okay, we're done with the Thunderdome shit. We're watching it's a live crowd in Houston, Texas, baby. And then, we can get, how we feel. Does that change the show? Because honestly, the perspective, what's up, Wolfers? The perspective has got to change and maybe affect some of the storylines and maybe make them a little better than what we're having. So, because you got a live crowd, not what we've heard with Rob, where there's someone telling you what to do and how to, go about it and everything like that. So, that'd be great to have like the vet, have Rob, have you, me, maybe somebody else on to talk about the live show and having seen what we've had so far, comparing that first show. I think it would be a good thing to do.
Totally. We'll have like a big bonanza show. We'll deep dive absolutely everything.
And then, of course, we can extend the invite to the Ayatollah himself, Ben Hameen, to have his perspective as well. So
I think he'll be a bit more inclined because there's not as many technical difficulties. Everyone noticed that? Everything's working fine for a change. Hey!
Someone got StreamYard and they listened to me finally. God damn.
You know what? Like, this is so much easier than
How long was I telling you to get StreamYard and does not the crap off?
This is why the old Scotsman in me is like here. It's like, no, I'm set my ways. I'm going to do it the hard way. That's how I brought up. I'm going to do it this way. And then you get to a point where you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't have it. I just broke. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And honestly, right, not to pull the back the curtain too much, but this took way less time to set up as well. I was like, I came flying home from work. I was like, oh God, I got to do this, and this. And I got something up. It's looking all right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, if it works for you, that's great. Like, to me, somebody, when they first talked about doing the show, who was it? Oh, when MSG approached me about, hey, I was like, I said Scottish people are like the Texan of England, so sure, it'll be fun. It'll just be two Texans talking, essentially. Stubborn and doing things their own way, and it'll be fun.
I've yet to bring in the patented grumpiness yet. That's not coming. That's got some time to come. That's on its way. I'll be grumpy now and again.
Yeah, well, it'll happen. It'll happen. So but with that said, we've got a lot of plans for this summer and moving forward. I'm going to start utilizing some relationships that I have and to bring people on and have guests and have different perspectives for you guys. So I don't have that big a reach. I can't pull WWE stars. I do have a friend who's an AEW wrestler, but I don't think that'll happen.
Oh.
I don't know. I got him on the Academy.
Can we try? Oh, you got him in the Academy?
I got Lance because Lance is a huge Star Trek guy. So if you haven't listened to the Academy, go listen to that episode with Lance. It's a lot of fun. We had a good time with him, and he smacked Triple D really hard about. Triple D loves the motion picture, the original, the first motion picture, and Lance just said how much he disliked it. And it was
come on!
It was chokes. It's terrible, dude. It is visually stunning.
It's visually stunning. It's got some so bad it's good moments in it.
It's visually stunning, but it is the worst Star Trek film that was made. And trust me, I love Star Trek. It's got some decent music and it's got great visuals, but the story is complete and utter hot garbage. And so Lance, just the way he did, you thought that Lance chokeslammed Triple D through a table. That the look that Triple D got, it was hilarious. I loved it. So we had a lot of fun on that. But we're working to continue to make the Smack Attack with you guys and about the show. And we want to continue to have you guys interact with us through the mail sack and everything else. You can tweet at us, Discord, all those fun things, which we'll get into at the end of the show. So
absolutely for that, yeah. And on that note, we're just about getting the SmackDown review. So if you want to get involved at any point, if you want to chat to us at any point, get your comments in or what we're talking about on the SmackDown show. We'd love to hear what you're thinking about what's happened on SmackDown, all the goings on, all this talk. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did something happen that you picked up on? I know there was something that I say a listener, but someone on the Hammy Media Group picked up on, which I'm looking forward to chatting about later on as well. So anything you want to get your thoughts in about this show, leave a comment, leave a question. We will get to it. We will respond. Don't you worry. We are here for the party. You are invited. You are part of our team. This is a Smack Attack chat. So let's get into it. SmackDown for the 11th of June. My dad's birthday, by the way. The 11th of June. Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday. Almost forgot about it.
Jesus Christ, dude. How do you forget your dad's birthday?
Well, because I'm seeing him tomorrow. So my head was like Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Sunday. His birthday's coming up Sunday. His birthday's Sunday. Of course, it was a Friday. This is why you have dates. But calendars are great, guys. Buy a calendar; it's useful. But so we get into this week's edition of SmackDown. We open up with it seems like the new way of starting SmackDown. We're not having an in-ring segment. We're in Roman Reigns' lounge when he's like talking to Jay, and he talks about that he can't. One thing he can't stand for is Jay embarrassing the family. It's like, Jesus, come on, mate. That's rough. So he asks if Jay's brother understands that as well. Obviously, they're kind of in between the two. And he said, and he always asks him to fix it. This is the common thing that Roman Reigns says to Jay right now. He's like, fix it. What's he to fix?
Yeah.
But it's an opening segment where he's berating Jay, and it goes straight into Jimmy coming out to the ring. And I loved this opening promo.
Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic stuff.
Good. It was so good. Jimmy, since coming back, and of course, this storyline has been so good. I mean, from the beginning when Jimmy comes back, and now Jay's, back and forth and all that kind of stuff. It's one of those things that you watch and you go, this is good stuff, because all this other stuff, it's kind of like I was listening to one of the podcasts. It's like, like there's some wrestlers or some stories where you're like, all that other stuff is bullshit, but this is real. Like this feels so real, It really does, and they're doing such a great job between Jimmy, Jay, and Roman emoting and acting the story out and letting have time to breathe, and just the pauses sometimes and the things that they do, the way they just let something breathe for a moment before they move forward. It's got to be Paul Heyman, and I mean, again,
100%.
And then I loved Jimmy. They cut back to Roman. They show Roman is watching in the lounge, and Paul Heyman and Roman are both like looking at Jay like, "What the hell, dude?" It's a proper
like side glance, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's this, mate?
Yeah, and well, Paul was not a side glance. Paul was straight up like,
what?
Yeah, like properly. He's got the belt, holding it like a little baby, going like what the kind of thing. And God, if nothing else, just watching sometimes Paul in the background is hilarious in and of itself. I love
everything he does is just brilliant now.
It's been so he knows what he's doing. Now. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, it's so good. Things. It's so good. And I mean, and we're just continuing to see the story of Jimmy and Roman just pulling Jay, and you see the tears coming across him emotionally and physically. I mean, just all that. I mean, even last week with the whole Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and the titles and everything going on, then we just see the tearing of Jay even more. And then this week, I mean, it was so good. And that's the thing is, this. And I mean, I don't want to jump the storyline because it goes throughout the night, and it was so good. So like every time they came back on, I'm looking forward to that next little part. Like, okay, what's it going to set up? What's it going to be? How are they going to continue the story? And they do such a good job of pacing it throughout the night, to where you get just enough other stuff, and then you come back to it's like, oh, good, I'm really looking forward to this. And then you go out and you do some other things, and then you come back. They're doing such a good job with the story. This is one of the few things on SmackDown that I have time for, that I really enjoy, that has been excellent work. I mean, really.
It's like little breadcrumbs that go throughout the show, and they dissect quite nicely. But quickly go back to the beginning promo. Like we talked about how well Jimmy kind of shows himself and shows his character and the little depth that little touches of this. So I quite like. There was some lines where you're like, obviously they're pertaining to the story. It really hits home what comes on later on, because there's a part where Jimmy talks about Roman Reigns being jealous of what Jimmy and Jay have, their connection, what they could be, like the successes that they could become. But there was a great line he says, and I want you to remember this as we go into the reviews we go on, because it really kind of plays a part in what goes on, and it maybe adds a bit of shade of grey for me when he says, "I'm my brother's keeper."
Right.
I was like, oh. Yeah. I mean, it was an interesting thing, because you don't think of, like, we talk about Jimmy and Jay being joined at the hip, being so close, but to say I'm my brother's keeper, it means that he's like, it's almost like saying I'm
responsible for him.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, I'm responsible for Jay. And it's like,
but here's the thing, I can also understand that too, because it would be like if one of my cousins wanted to step in for my sister. Like I have two younger sisters. And let's say one of my cousins wanted to step in for one of my sisters to do whatever. I'm like, hey, that's not your job, dude. I'm the brother. I'm the protector. That's my job. It's not your job. I'm my sister's keeper. It's not your job. Like the way I saw it, was he was saying, you're a cousin. You're not a brother. You don't get to step in. But in a way, too, it was, granted they're twins and Jimmy's the older, and he's trying to play that older brother. But I mean, if you're like 40 seconds apart, is that really like I'm the older brother? I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
It's like the smallest of details. It's like the smallest, and it does play in.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It
was an interesting line,
games,
and it really is almost like you said, mind games between Jimmy and Roman, really, and with Jay in the middle, and Jay is just breaking. He's just tearing because at the end of the day, it's family. Do you go with your brother who's been out for a year, but you've had so much experience with, you've done so much, or do you go with your cousin who's protected you this whole time supposedly, and elevated you supposedly?
his career trajectories went up.
Yeah. As Roman said a couple weeks ago, so you don't go, wish you so you again, it's one of those things that it's really just kind of just been good all around. And you're seeing Jay he's just trying to navigate that. And I don't care who you are, that would be hard to deal with in real life. Yeah. If you had to choose between a brother or a cousin who's like a brother, that's helped care for you, and that'd just be hard. And I think people recognize that. They recognize family tension and struggle. And so this is why the other reason why the story is so good is because it's so relatable. It's not outlandish. It's not over the top. It is completely relatable, with everybody that is watching the show right now. So
yeah. There's so much depth to this. We say this every week. We say how much depth to this story is and how much there is, but there really is. This is the story that they're investing. They're putting the chips on the table with this one, because you can even see the cracks in Reigns' character coming through a little bit. It's like, what's to come? Because we talked about there's rumors coming out that his SummerSlam opponent's going to be John Cena. They're really trying hard to bring The Rock in for Survivor Series, which may maybe set up WrestleMania next year. So they've got a lot of investment in Roman Reigns in this story and what comes. So it's nice that we get this little bit of change in what he is. It's not all sunshine and roses for him. Things aren't going exactly how he plans. And it's going to be nice because you'll have all this little hiccups and headaches that he's going to have with the Usos. And once that's resolved, his next one's going to be John Cena. And it's going to be like, the doubt's going to be there that he could win, So it'll be interesting to see what he does. But again, we've got so much to talk about in this one, because straight off the back of that promo, you've got Jimmy and Jane backstage area talk about this. And Jimmy asked Jay flat, like, do you actually think we were going to win the tag titles? As in, did you believe we could do it? And Jay just looks at the floor. It's like, cheers, man. And it was so telling. There was that sense of doubt in himself. And it's almost, again, we talked about this tug of war of breaking the two up, or who's got control of his trajectory. It's almost like Jay couldn't make up his mind. It was that confliction that he's had, and it just took over, even though he had no bearing on the decision. That's one thing they did do some revisionist history on, is Jimmy did take the fall both times. Well, no, Jimmy took the fall, but he kicked out, and then Jimmy was getting taken down, and then Reigns got the punch on there. So Jay wasn't really directly involved in what happened last week, but hey ho, it was what it was. But it was quite nice that even Jay just kind of started speaking up. He's found his voice a little bit. He's like, I'm fed up being in the middle of this whole thing. He loves his brother, but he's loyal to the tribal chief. And then Jimmy just went, all right, well, if Reigns wants to talk to me, he can come to our locker room.
Which is almost like he didn't hear Jay. It's almost like
totally ignored him.
It's almost, because he's like, hey, you were out for a year and Roman was there for me, but I'm in the middle now and I don't know what to do. And Jimmy goes, okay, well, if Roman wants to talk to me, he can come to our locker room. It's like,
I love that.
You didn't even address what he just said. Yeah, you just, you just kind of went, whatever. And I think, that it's interesting. They're just setting up the night, they're just setting up the night. So, so then from there, we get a tag team match playoff.
Holla, holla, holla.
With no tag teams. With no teams. Tag teams.
It's your Intercontinental title picture showcase of the week. Another tag match. Kevin Owens and Big E versus Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn. I wonder who the weak link in this match was. It was a good match. I thought Sami Zayn worked quite well.
He did.
We see this quite a lot. It's always a good match for that there. But I quite like the pace of this one as well. They all really tried hard to get their business in for that there. Didn't see as much of Big E as I would have liked. That's my only big issue. We saw a lot more of Owens and Zayn.
Well, we saw Big E getting stomped a lot and on the sell a lot. I didn't see as much of him on the comebacks or fire up as Kevin did. Kevin had a lot more offense, it seemed like, than Big E. And especially because I know last week, there's that, he wanted revenge on Sammy for stepping in during his match since Commander Aziz couldn't be there. But, he showed up instead. I did watch, even though I wasn't there. That's dedication, people. That's dedication.
You got to suffer the pain. This is a full-time job sometimes.
Yeah, it is. So, but I mean, it was a good match. There was lots of good things going on in here. Hey, it went through a commercial break. So we get plenty of time. Kevin was giving out cannonballs like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And then of course, Big E and Kevin win because of Sammy getting a stunner. And even though we saw the pop-up powerbomb and Sammy kicks out of that, I believe. Which establishing that it is now a transition move. It is no longer a finisher.
Yeah.
It is now the
It was
stunner.
such a good finisher as well.
I know.
He didn't need the stunner. This is the crazy thing. Is they did this stunner thing to try and get him over because it's obviously Stone Cold's finishing move.
Right.
It didn't work. And they just kept going with it. And the pop-up powerbomb was fine. Like the stuff he done when he came to NXT, when he was powerbombing people on the apron, and he was putting people on the shelf for ages. And he done it a little bit when he came on the main roster. And he did it to John Cena and won that first match when he was NXT champ and won the match against him at Elimination Chamber. You don't need to try and wedge in nostalgia for some people. I mean, there's some acts might need it. Like if you said to me Becky Lynch was going to do the stunner when she was on her run towards that WrestleMania main event,
right, as the man,
I'd get it. I'd absolutely get it because she's got an armbar finishing move, so she's not got anything else.
Right.
In the tank, she's got her that, and then what else? But you've got a snap finisher like the stunner because we're trying to mold her like Steve Austin at the time.
Right.
It would work amazing because it got the nostalgia. We've got that feeling. It adds up quite nicely. We've got the connections between the two. It's fine. Kevin Owens just did it randomly one night. I think it was like a SummerSlam, and that was it. That's yours now. It's like, no.
Well, here's my thought. This is the only reason why. Kevin is known for getting hurt a lot. And Kevin is not necessarily in the best shape. And this is a move you can perform on anyone. Whereas the pop-up powerbomb is not a move you can perform on anybody and everybody.
Is it though? Because a lot of it is like you're helping them leap. And then you're just pressing them down on the weight. If anything, it's
but if they don't jump fully, I mean, think about it. There's a lot of factors. Whereas with the stunners, you kick them in the stomach, you grab them, you pull them down. That is a lot easier to do on someone like a Commander Aziz. Trying to do a pop-up powerbomb on Commander Aziz, I'm telling you, is not going to be easy. That's
a Hogan moment right there.
Yeah,
bang,
yeah. But he's known to have knee issues and back issues. So why not protect him so they can wrestle longer by giving him something like the stunner? Some kind of quick move that can be done on anybody. That was originally my more thought process is he's going this route because it protects him for a longer run than a pop-up powerbomb would be.
Yeah.
But still, like you said, like I have a hard time seeing him do it. It doesn't connect with me like it would a Becky Lynch or Stone Cold. So that's always hard when you're doing something that someone else did, that someone made popular. I mean, think about it. They had stunners before, but Stone Cold was the first one to make it a finisher. And really make it something that was deadly and could come out of nowhere, kind of the RKO-ish type, diamond cutter type thing, and so, because if you really think people are talking about, the RKO out of nowhere, think about it. Diamond Dallas Page had the diamond cutter and WCW, and you never even saw it coming. And he was doing that for years before it became popular with Randy Orton and the RKO.
Sometimes I quite like the diamond cutter though, because it's got that added twist.
Yeah.
And then he goes down rather than just keeping. Gives you that bit more realism in that.
Yeah, it does. But it's to me, that's the only, like, I don't hate on him for it. It's just it's really hard because at the end of the day I realize he's trying to extend his career and he has to transition out of that pop-up powerbomb. And so this is a good way to do it. It's just super hard to do when you're following somebody like Stone Cold who made something like this popular. So
it's an uphill battle from the off when you take that on.
Yeah,
I do have to say I like it. And everybody
on the mic, and I loved how Apollo was like, "Hey, I did not lose. I lost to this idiot." And
I was burdened with him. I was like, "Oh, come on now!"
And then Sami Zayn's like, "I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot." Like this whole like
so harsh.
Yeah, it was fun. Like it was like I don't know. Was it supposed to be funny though? Like
I don't even know. It was just sort of like, I suppose it was supposed to be like a reasonable excuse for losing the match, because I suppose Apollo Crews wasn't anywhere near the finish. And we should probably mention it now. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or if I'm not, but Apollo Crews asked for a do-over, which is fair enough.
Right.
But instead of Sami Zayn and his partner, he's going to get Commander Aziz in. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, because we've not seen him properly in the ring. But I did kind of enjoy what he was doing in Raw Underground when he was Dabba-Kato. So, well, I don't know. But see, as soon as he goes for like a headlock, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
He is not need to be wrestling at all.
He is not catch as catch can.
No. He needs to be throwing hands and just stomping mud holes and just a brawler. He needs to be that guy.
I want him to be? I want him to be the Great Khali on Fast Forward. That's just that big guy, big moves, big offense, but with an extra bit of pace and panache.
See, I meant like I want him to be Zangief from Street Fighter.
Ooh,
you know, like he's just that big brawler guy. Like he can grab you and throw you around, but he's just gonna be a brawler. And that's.
It's it bad, right? That in my head right away, it wasn't just like the game, it was the film. When the bomb's coming down towards them, and he just turns to the screen and goes, "Quick! Change the channel."
Oh yeah, that was the movie. Yeah, the movie. That big dumb guy who played the game. Yeah, that was great.
Love that film.
No, I'm not looking forward to this at all. It's just elongating this thing even more. We're seeing more of the same. Another Kevin Owens and Big E versus Apollo and insert random person here match. When we're not getting the Intercontinental title cleared up, we're not clearing up the title at all. It's just
keeping it going. It's just laying what's happening. Because again, we talked about it last week about the releases. There were so many talents they could have had. Like Aleister Black was that was mental.
You just showed him kicking Big E in the face to win that match.
He's right there, and then they sacked him. Yeah. And then apparently this chat about everyone backstage wanting him back, and you're like, well, what was the fucking point?
Right.
That's the crazy thing. It's like you had him right there. You could have got Big E out the way, have him do that thing with Aleister Black, take care of have a quick feud with Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews, tie that up in a knot, bring Sami Zayn if you want, and then the winner of the Aleister Black feud goes with the winner of the Apollo Crews feud, and you crack on. You can change them over nicely, but they want to make it difficult for themselves. And by the way, no Dolph Ziggler and Robbie Roode around. They've vanished for some reason. They could have got involved in this mix. That would have been a fun run.
Yeah.
But hey ho, I have other issues to get into. Don't you worry. There's other things, because they could have done other things, but they decided to go with it. Silly shit.
They could have done lots of things. They could have done a lot of things.
But for this, it was a big thing for me. I'm kind of excited to see Dabba-Kato do his thing, or a Commander Aziz. But
I'm calling him Dabba-Kato. Commander Aziz is just too stupid. Yeah. I mean, he's not Nigerian,
And it's going to be, he will go back to it, and he'll be like, I'm not this guy with this jacket. I don't have this uniform. No, I'm a badass. I'm Dabba-Kato.
I know how to handle a spear properly, not with the point in the ground.
Yeah. I already have a spear. It's my thumb.
Yeah.
Thump. That's all you need.
Dumbest move ever, though. Let's be honest. It's the shittiest move. I mean, the claw is more believable than that thing.
It's like it's supposed to be the Umaga thing, isn't it? It's the literal mold of Umaga. Just be a dominant monster from like a faraway land, and then just.
But even still, like, I mean, I'm sorry. You take your thumb and you jam it right here. You're gonna blow your thumb out before you hurt somebody. If you're hurting somebody, you're still gonna blow your thumb out, and you're gonna like sprain it, break it, whatever.
You put your thumb like there. Hang on, I'll move this out of the way for a second.
Okay.
Put your thumb right there, like where he's hitting it. If you hit the chest bone there, that's gonna hurt. You're breaking the thumb. You're fucked.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's no margin for error.
And it's just stupid. It looks stupid. You know?
Yeah. Because you're clueless, I get this conversation. Thank you, WWE.
Sonic the Hedgehog, we appreciate
Sums
that.
it up quite nicely, really,
Yeah.
to be honest. But it is what it is. We'll get that next week. It's going to be a fun match. Intercontinental title picture is, we don't know what it is. Who's the champion? Of course, Apollo Crews. Who's the challenger? Yeah. We won't know. It's probably going to whoever pins him next week. Probably Kevin Owens. Who'd have thought?
Hey, by the way, we're a month away from Money in the Bank.
Oh my God! This is
in Fort Worth. Right here, by the way, in 20 minutes away from me, 30 minutes away from me. We're a month away from that, and we have no clue who's challenging for the Intercontinental title.
Oh man, they may get chucked into the Money in the Bank match instead. That's maybe why they're doing it this way, so they have they're all already in a nice little package and bunch. So when they get the ladders out in a briefcase, they're half the work's done. That's maybe what they're doing. You guys are doing nothing wrong. You got to review what you see. Ain't that half the truth?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Totally. Tell me about it. But we'll crack on. We'll skip the Rey Mysterio screaming at Adam Pearce over what's happened last week because there's a really good promo. Well, I say really good promo, but not a great promo.
Yeah.
And then we get to Chad Gable chatting with the Street Profits about what happened last week. It was like, he's so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened, but you didn't want Otis to get come for the apology as a grand gesture. What he decided was canceling the tag match. We're not going to fight each other. It's cool, guys. We're all pals. It's all good. And of course, the Street Profits were not amused by that.
Mm.
Hang on, why you? It's great because he cancels the match as a point of good as a good gesture, and you're like, no, we're not having that. And he goes, well, you've done it now. You're going to have a singles match with me.
Yeah, I know, right?
The tag match. But I suppose they're building to it because it is quite a good. I think it'll be a fun match when they actually do it proper. But it was a whole sort of Gable challenge. Which one's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's going to be you. Going to be you. And Dawkins initially takes it.
Right.
I'll have it. And Ford just goes, no. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool as well. It was just cool as you like. It was staring a hole through Gable as it happens. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
But I like this little closer note. And he goes, all right then. No worries. I'll see you in the ring. By the way, Otis is still angry.
Yeah.
Okay. So something's happening.
Yeah.
Still at home.
Yeah. Just telegraph that a little bit for us. Why don't you?
Yeah. You just keep that in the back pocket there. We'll come back to that. I like this. There's a lot.
But he did set that caveat of, hey, Otis won't be at ringside.
He's not supposed to be there
if Dawkins isn't. And then so he says, that's when he says, yeah, and that's when Gable says that Otis is still angry. So, because Gable is like, all right, we won't have our seconds at ringside, but Otis is still angry. So, and then we get more Roman Reigns and Jay. And I
like this because Jay was like, he says to come to our locker room, and Reigns just bursts out.
Well, no, here's what I loved about this. He walks in, and Roman starts just looking. Like he's looking.
Where's he going? Where's your brother?
He doesn't say anything at first. He looks over and he looks down and he's doing this and he's like, so where's your brother? And he's calm, he's cool, collected about it, and that's when he tells him about. Yeah, he says he's in our locker room. And so again, they just set more of that stage of Jay beginning to tear more and more.
Yeah. You can see it in him that it's starting to get to him at this point.
Yeah.
He's already said he didn't know what to do, and neither family members help in the situation. But Reigns does say we'll go to their locker room, and laughs, giggles off a little bit there. It's an interesting thing I picked up about Roman Reigns. I'll talk about later on for you there as well, because it's how he's presenting his promos has been quite interesting.
Yeah.
It kind of a little more breadcrumby stuff for me, I would say.
Yeah.
But we'll crack on. Carmella versus Liv Morgan, the do-over. There's not much to say about this match because it was a very quick match, and Liv Morgan won. But then I think it was like a roll-up, wasn't it? She rolled it up, or
no?
It was a
she goes for the Liv moves out the way and hits Carmella with the Oblivion.
Oh, so she does. Yeah, I'm mixing up my matches. I'm thinking about it later on. And she wins a match, and he's like, "You win the match, Liv Morgan." She's out away, and almost as quick as he makes that announcement, Carmella's grabbing the ham and just going, "Say it. I want to hear it." And still, the most beautiful woman in WWE, Carmella. So that's where we're going
until Eva Marie shows up.
Yeah, I still think they should get paired up together, but that's just me. Apparently, sexiness is too. You can't have too much of it, apparently. But
see, but I'm not. I don't think Carmella is sexy. I honestly don't. Like, honestly, there's not like.
What is it? What is it? What's putting you off?
I don't know. Like, it's. I can't put my finger on it. It almost like, I guess what it is for me, it feels forced. Like, there's some people who, when they walk and they move, they're just naturally sexy, and like with Carmella, it feels forced. It doesn't feel like it's natural for her. Whereas, like, when you watch Eva Marie, the way she moves, it's just smooth and elegant, and like it's natural to her. With some of these other women, when they just try to walk, it's just natural. With Carmella, it feels a little bit more forced to me than it does anything else. And I think too, they've stopped and started her so much. They've not really established this thing that they're now trying to make her sexy, that it's kind of, again, a forced thing. It wasn't a natural progression. To me, she's a lot more sexy when it wasn't a forced thing. When the way she moves, the way she talks, the way she is having this gimmick. When it was before that, to me, she was a lot sexier. When she was the Mela is Money and running around that way, she was a lot more sexy because she was just being her and being natural. Yeah. Whereas this just doesn't feel that in the same way as then, like, when you watch an Eva Marie, who, I mean, I know I'll keep carpet on her, but she is a prime example of a woman who knows how to move. Mandy Rose, good Lord. I like cake, and Mandy Rose is the epitome of cake. And so that's an all-day cake buffet. I could eat that all day long. And so, but the way Mandy Rose moves, she moves naturally, just incredibly sexy. It doesn't necessarily have to be the outfit she wears. It's the movements, the way they hold themselves and posture themselves. And so, like, for me, that's kind of, I think, the biggest difference is Carmella doesn't know how to do those things naturally compared to some of these other superstars. I mean, to me, even Dana Brooke moves better and more sexy than Carmella does. So, but that's just me. That's my opinion. I know probably half our audiences or all our audience going, I'm stupid and I have no clue what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
Idiot spaceman's on my wavelength. Time before Eva Marie and Carmella on the same brand and join forces.
Yeah.
One for the dads, boys. One for the dads.
Well, Miss Dad right here anyway. I'll take it. So don't tell my girlfriend.
I don't mind it. I'm okay with it.
I mean, I'm not hating on it. It's just, if I was, if we're talking about pairings, I'd go somebody else.
I mean, to be honest, right? This is what seeing these sort of matches with Carmella, and I'm like, I think I've told people this when I watch the show in the morning. I watch it on my phone. My girlfriend's usually lying next to me, and those are the times where you have to do like,
because it's almost her outfit this week was very lingerie-esque.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting usually like that, watching it, and then I go.
So you're watching it like a heathen, vertically instead of sideways, as it's
it depends on how I feel. Like, I could do it that way. It depends on us, Sam, because sometimes I can watch it and then I'm just like, message, click, and then. But sometimes we'll do it like that if I've got time. But it's that sort of look, and you guys have done it. We've all done it. We can all be adults here, but you do that sort of. What are you watching? Nothing.
Wrestling. I mean,
total good family friendly content.
Yeah, I just have to readjust sometimes. I mean. Yeah.
Can't believe it's can't believe we came out of that. But yeah, I'm okay with it. But we'll see. I don't even know where it's going. This is my worry. I'll get to this year's chat. But I don't know where this is going. What's the end game here? She's like, I'm the most beautiful. Who is going to be the challenger to that throne?
Right.
Liv Morgan. I mean, they're 1-1. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time this week they would have had a a rubber match over something.
Right. And so, at least the women are getting something other than the title. I'm like, great. So we're going for a title that says I'm the most beautiful woman in WWE, objectifying myself. And the only other people that we have on the roster that are women right now is Bayley and Bianca.
Yeah. Sasha Banks is still nowhere to be seen. MIA.
Yeah, no clue. You know,
so don't tell me we're going to get Sasha Banks and Carmella and the winner's going to be the most beautiful woman of WWE.
I don't know. Who knows?
Pick someone else. Give someone else a rub here. We all want everyone to be involved and be a part of the things. Everyone's equally beautiful. Yeah. Don't let them decide.
I don't know. And here's the thing. Okay, so this is the makeup from last week, right? Because because Liv is now on her own. So does this mean now they're again going to try to push Liv as a singles wrestler?
They've got to now. They've not got a choice.
I mean, we've tried that. It didn't really work super great.
But there's no crutches anymore. They have to work with her as a single stars now because they got rid of anything they could lean on with her. Like there's no Ruby Riott,
right?
And what's her name?
Sarah
Logan. They're gone now. So this is sink or swim for her now. If it doesn't work, she could be on her way somewhere else, or she might decide to do something else completely. If it does work, you know what I mean? They've got to commit to this now.
Yeah.
They tried it and then they went back to the old, but they've got no access point to the old now unless they bring someone back. So they've got to be like, right, they've got to have a plan for her now. Otherwise, she's going to get lost in the shuffle and she's going to be another one of these. I don't want to say she'll be another one of these really superstars because you don't want to see anyone get released. You don't want to see anyone lose a job. But that's the fear now because of how they've structured themselves and their current business actions. You do worry for people like this where it's like if they don't know what they're doing with you, you're in danger. Like Braun Strowman wasn't safe.
Mm-hmm.
The word is he got cut because he had $1 million contract. It was like that's your own fault for negotiating that. But at the same time, it's like he's one of your biggest names. He was main event in a pay-per-view not long ago. You've got nothing. You've not got enough for him that you've said it's good enough to sack him. Aleister Black was brought back as Intercontinental title picture, and you thought, right, we've not got a lot for him, so we'll sack him. So these are people that had things or were around things, and they're getting sacked. I'd be worried. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really want Liv Morgan to get this little push, give her a bit of momentum. A women's championship run is not too much to ask for.
Right.
There was a point last year or just over a year ago where they really had the makings of it working well. They were showing her off quite nicely. Okay, she maybe need a bit more work in the ring, but she's got the tools there, the look, the appeal. Fans love her. She's got a good social media background. The people backstage like her. What would be holding her back as a champion? You could have some great storylines with her that would still be interesting and intriguing. So give her a chance. Or maybe maybe we were just kind of seeing her setting herself up for a move to Raw because obviously we've got the draft coming up sometime in, I think it's just after SummerSlam. So again, there's a little bit of putting the pieces in place to swap people over to brands. I think Raw would be a good move for her actually because it's not the strongest women's division.
Right.
I mean, she'd have to deal with the whole Alexa Bliss business, but
there isn't much going on the SmackDown women's division either, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but although I do feel like we've got slightly more characters there. We've got Bayley, Bianca Belair, they're doing their own thing. Carmella's doing her thing, as weird as it is just now. And then you've got Sonya Deville's still hanging about there.
She's been positioned as Office,
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, unless we see something where she is going to wrestle again, it's almost like that incident shook her and she's never going to wrestle again.
Yeah.
And so she's Office. I mean, until I see something different, I can't count her as that. She's going to be Office. So, speaking of that, we did have a Bayley segment after this.
This was the heel loving.
Yeah.
I've ever seen so much about this.
Yeah.
It was from what I've seen, it was like trading notes about because like this Bayley's getting Rollins in for a proper show, for a proper interview.
Right.
And Rollins is like I have to know how you did it. And then showed the stuff from last week where Bayley did all the Thunderdome screens to show her laughing, which I still think is pretty creepy and weird.
Yeah, that was.
And then Bailey's like, well, actually, I've got something to show you. And it's Rollins attacking Cesaro 3 weeks ago.
Like, well, and it was funny because, like, they show that and they're laughing, and then she's, well, I got something funny to show you, and so weird. And then you see Seth Rollins' face, and he's just got this like face of like, I am, like, he's looking pissed, like, doesn't know what to do, and then it stops, and he's just kind of looking, and they both go, blah! They start like, I couldn't hold it. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it. And
such a good parent for this.
Yeah, it really was. I loved how he walked in the door and goes, wow, this is an incredible set. This is so beautiful. You got
refurbished.
Yeah, and she goes, oh no, you take the chair. She gave up her chair this time for Seth Rollins and all that. And of course she knew it was going to happen. But they
were like total besties throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, and then the door rings, and I'll get it, and
I'll be the gentleman. I'll get this. You do a lot of work. You do all the work here. You host the show. You come on, let me do this. I'll get the. And it's great because like he opens the. I don't know how they did this. Like how they've angled the cameras so well, or if they've just got Cesaro just to squeeze along, hidden away. But they did quite well in the camera work for this one.
Yeah,
you don't see him at all until you get the angle of the door open, but. Rollins opens the door, and I love how he just stands there, blank. Like, there's no expression, there's no nothing. You're like, it's Cesaro. Anyone who's anyone, we know exactly what's happening. But it's quite nice that he's just like.
There was that moment of anticipation of like, okay, who could? I mean, it's probably Cesaro, but who could it be? Like, and then you see Cesaro just start whipping the shit out of him.
It was like a weird jab he led with as well. It wasn't like hook. It was like, boop, and then off we go to the races and ripped up the drip.
Yeah, rip the drip.
Right, I'm drawing the line there, right? I've been a fan of Rollins, so I really have, and to see them torn up like that is disrespectful. And
if you're Cesaro a fan, show off your drip. You haven't shown off your drip yet. You're not you can't claim to be a fan.
I showed it off like weeks ago and had the jacket.
No. Before that was before. You got to hashtag it. Where Seth Rollins does the whole thing. Yeah, there's a whole thing on Twitter and TikTok and whatever about how you have whatever his drip challenge is with Seth Rollins. Until you do that, you are not a fan, sir. You are not a fan. I call bullshit on you.
Mate, I'm a working class lad from Fife, Scotland. Do you think I've got the finances to have the kind of drip he has?
Hey, some people have not. There's this brand called Oppo Suits. You go look them up. Yeah, go look them up. I'm telling you, you can get like pineapple suits. You can get all kinds of crazy.
I'm gonna do that now.
Go look up OPPO.
Oppo Suits.
Oppo Suits.
Is it an Amazon store? Is that, or is it an actual website?
It's an actual opposuits.com.
I've got a .co.uk site here as well. Let's have a
look
at this. Whoa, these are some snappy.
Yeah, they got some like Pac-Man.
Oh my god, they've got a Pac-Man suit here.
Yeah.
Can I? Let's see if can I actually share my screen
blazers, tuxedos, Christmas. They have all kinds of Christmas stuff. They've got all kind. Dude, I'm telling you, Oppo Suits, man. They got a cash one, looks like money, a Pokemon suit, disco baller.
Pokemon.
I'm telling you, my brand.
Can I share my screen here quickly? How do I do that? Share screen. I don't know how that works here. Choose what to share. Microsoft Edge tab. That's the one I'm looking for. There we go. Share. Can you see that? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. That's outstanding. I'm up for that. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Bam.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
The trousers, man. They trousers, honest to God, look like jammies that I've got, or pajamas that you say are down there. Like, I've got Pac-Man jammies. It's quality. I don't have the t-shirt, but I have the trousers. I always have the trousers.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got like Pac-Man, disco baller, Pokemon, the cash one. That comes with, suit, tie, everything, all that.
You got like shirts that go with it as well.
Yeah, you can get
That's
like
class.
Specific color shirts and everything. Recommended. Yeah. I mean, Christmas, if you want to show up at Christmas looking pimp as whatever at your family Christmas, get you an Oppo suit. Shout out to my man, Jay-Z Flair. I think he goes by like Jay-Z something else like on Twitter now. But that's how I learned about him. He has Oppo suits. Let's see, Jay-Z.
There we go. Dude, wait, just cut up all the credit cards.
Yeah, Jay-Z Graham is what he's going by now. But yeah, he lives in North Carolina, and he wears ridiculous suits like that. He gets them from Oppo. So yeah,
I just can't get over how good these suits are. This is quality. This is
so until you show up and look at, and the cost of them isn't that, they are ridiculous.
It's $74.95 for the Pokemon one. I could live with that.
Yeah,
I could live with $74.95.
Disco Baller one. I mean, here you go.
Oh my god, hang on. They've got Euro 21 suits here. Let me have a look, see what Scotland's one is. Fucking America. That's not Scottish. Where's my Scottish one? Teen boys. I don't want a teen boy suit. I'm a grown ass man.
I'm a grown ass man looking at Pac-Man suits.
Totally. Well, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. Oh my god, Christmas suits. There it is.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys. I'm just going to share this one because here we fucking go. We've got time for this, right?
Oh yeah, we do. we can cruise through SmackDown. Who cares?
Woo! Look at this. Oh, hang on. Things went through Wally. Look at that.
I like the Nordic one.
I like that one too. I do like the Rudolph. That's quite standard.
Okay,
good statement piece if you want to really show a bit of flashiness.
Oh,
ooh.
Winter Wonderland with shorts.
I'm not a big fan of suits with shorts. I'm not a big fan of the Pat McAfee thing.
It's just the ridiculousnh of it. More than
I like this one, the trendy tartan.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course you would be.
Yeah, I'm a bias for this. Ooh, look at the blazers. Groovy gold. That's some tat right there. Some pure.
Is that a velvet one there? That burgundy?
Where's that? Oh, the deep burgundy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that.
Right below it.
Oh, the dinner jacket.
Burgundy. Yeah, that dinner jacket. Is that
Let's get
velvet?
This up. Oh my word.
That's like a velvet, isn't it?
That's a turtleneck shirt. That, isn't it? Is he wearing a turtleneck? Yes, he is. He's wearing a turtleneck. Oh, that is one sexy bitch. That's outstanding. Look at that, guys. It could be all year. It could be all years for £110. Yeah, it's worth every penny.
Yeah, there you go. You want to join the Seth Rollins drip challenge? Then Oppo suits. You know,
we should totally do this.
Wolfers, there's probably one somewhere. You could probably find the Illuminati eyes on one of Wolfers. I don't doubt it.
1,000%. That'd be ace. That'd be absolutely
ace. Right, so anyway, Cesaro beats the shit out of Seth Rollins. He de-pantses him. Rollins is running around his underwear, hopping the rail in his underwear.
Pat McAfee's having a crisis over this. I was like, he's lost the drip. He's down in his pants. Down his undies. Ah!
I'm loving Pat McAfee, by the way. I don't know. He's so good. He's been so good with us. And, I feel like he's brought life to Michael Cole. I think we've said it before, but I'll say it again. He's elevating Michael Cole's game.
No, Sonic, you will.
Sonic, your wife says get that. You get that because that means nookie later, Sonic. Trust me.
You learn. You got to play the rules of the game. You got. Yeah. This is what this stuff will get you forward, man.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, it was just we so got off the rails.
Oh my god, we went off the beaten path bad, but I'm glad we did. And he just beats him up for a little bit, and then throws Rollins out the ring and smashes the set.
Yeah,
throws things. Good thing there's no crowd.
That planter, he chunked that planter.
My God, that looked like he was going to kill somebody when he threw that.
I know, right?
Glad no one was in the crowd for that. Could you imagine if that went wrong? And but then that happens, and then Bianca Belair comes out. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, well, not quite yet. She comes out, does her thing, and then it's stays there, and he just starts laughing. But I think she did this weird thing, right? And I don't know if you've done this. See if you do this when you pretend to laugh, and then you actually start laughing.
Yeah.
I feel like that happened to her because she puts on this proper and then just starts buckled. And it's like she made herself laugh there. That is one of those things. It's a weird thing the human brain does. Do it now. If you're at home, laugh to yourself, just giggle, and I guarantee if you do it enough, you will make yourself actually laugh. It is bananas.
Yeah.
we're a strange species when you think about it.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, but that was the end of the segment. It was quite strange. I'm kind of confused there. We're having the battle of the laughs. This feud is about laughing at each other.
Yeah,
which I suppose still isn't the worst feud we've ever had.
Yeah, there's been worse.
There's been worse somehow, and it's like this is one of those things where Chris Jericho got the word "it" over, and I wonder if they're trying that. It's like if we could just get laughing over, we're winning, guys. What are we doing? There's someone's catchphrase is just them laughing.
Right.
That'd be a sight and a half.
But then we back this up with another talking segment. So then we go backstage with with Ray talking about Dominic, and he's hurt, and then he's going after Roman because you went after my son, and it's just like that. Did you ever watch the movie The Untouchables with Sean Connery and Kevin Costner about Elliot Ness and all that in Chicago, 1920s?
I don't think so, which makes me a bad person because it's a Sean Connery film. Bad choice.
Yeah, but it's a great film. It's about Elliot Ness and his crew, and they never get touched, but they're going through this whole thing about going after Al Capone. And there's a point where
I'm from Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was an Irish police officer who moved to Chicago, kind of thing.
Oh, did they put him off as Irish?
No, they did. Like Irish or Scottish, or basically the idea is that he immigrated and his family is police and all that. So but he says they come at us with a knife, you come at us with a gun. They beat us, we kill them. That's the Chicago way. There's a whole line, and I'm doing it terrible justice. But Sean Connery, is like basically the idea of escalation, and that you're coming at me with this, and I'm going to come at you with this, and that's the Chicago way. And this is what this felt like. This felt like they're recreating that Sean Connery scene of you come after my kid. I don't care who you are. I'm going to come after you, and I'm going to beat you. Which we've seen Ray do stupid shit like this before, aka Brock Lesnar.
You got those vibes, didn't you? You really did. You're like, what comes later on? You're like, oh Jesus, no.
Yeah,
because this does not end well for Ray. This will not end well for Ray.
No, the human lawn dart. I'm gonna start calling him the human lawn dart. Yeah. I mean, how many times has that dude been lawn darted?
Cheers, Kevin Nash.
I know, right?
Legend.
I know, Kevin Nash. Tip to you, sir, for creating Rey Mysterio, the human lawn dart. I mean, and is this where we're going? Roman's going to be facing Ray for the title.
Yeah.
That's.
Good.
I don't know.
Good. We'll save it for the segment later on. We got some half tag team match player. Montez Ford versus Chad Gable. This is more the story of what happens during and after the match rather than the match. Yeah. It was a good match. Chad Gable and Montez Ford, give me all of it. Although Montez Ford, weirdly, and I don't know if this is why they did the injury angle, didn't quite get the frog splash going as well as he usually does, did he?
No,
it was quite low.
Just sort of but if you watch the match, Gable was working the lower body. There was that point where Ford went to go jump, and Gable grabbed him and worked the ankle in that ankle lock. Very smooth move, by the way.
Yeah,
just snatched him out of there, grabbed him by the leg, and put him into an ankle lock. And they had good exchanges and things along those lines. But the whole story was, Gable knows he's got to work the lower body. To keep Ford from being as athletic as he is, and that's the story on all that. And of course, we see a new Otis, and I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about
what is this. It kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of wish, and I know they didn't do it, and I feel kind of like this is like the film guy in me. I kind of wish you did the attack on Dawkins, but you don't see his face. It's like done from like the back angle.
Right.
So you just like, or it's just smashed him. And then when he comes to the ring, that's when you see his face when he makes it to the ring. Like, he changes his face. But because it's like, I don't know what possessed him to do it.
It was because Chad Gable. Chad Gable is clean shaven, American, part of the Alpha Academy, you're straight laced, all that. And so,
but you could just tidy it.
No, that's the whole point. Trim. No, that's the whole point is if he's a part of the Alpha Academy and Chad Gable is his leader, he's going to be clean shaven. You know,
Yeah. I mean, they could like make him look less like someone who should be around children.
yeah. I mean, they should have cut his hair too. I mean, if you're gonna take the beard off, you do the whole thing, clean look like Chad Gable has.
Well, I
Cut the
wonder
ponytail.
they tied it back quite neat this time because usually it's quite over the place, isn't it? But they tied it tight, which I like that. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I personally would have gone the whole way with it. I would have made him have a similar haircut to Chad Gable, clean shaven like Chad Gable, because that's the whole point. Gable is molding him, monitoring him, and molding him into what he's going to be, and so he's going to be doing everything Chad Gable does. So clean shaven, shaved hair, almost a single white female kind of thing, where the girl starts to partake the other girl's persona and look and everything, that kind of stalkerish kind of thing. But this is because he's being molded that way by his mentor, and so that's how I would have done it. I don't mind it because I get where they're going with it. It was just a complete shocker. Otis without his beard, man, he doesn't have a chin.
He's like a giant baby.
Yeah.
He's like a giant baby that's like 3 months old, still a bit chubs.
It was hard to take him seriously.
Yeah,
it was really hard to take him seriously as a threat when I saw him. The beard helped make him a little more menacing. I will agree with you on that. That's why I'm surprised they did it. I understand why they're doing it, but storytelling wise, but it takes away from the menace of who Otis is.
Although I will say the clean look might be quite a good way to make him look a bit more scary and menacing as well, because he's getting rid of it's very clean. It's very like what's his name from American Psycho?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's character in that, where it's like very clean shaven, looks after themselves with the white suits, with the white uniform, acts in a certain way, and then gets very like possessive. Because you saw like they just kind of blew off Chad Gable last week, and he was like, apologize. No, fine, bang. It's like a new intensity he's getting out of this, and maybe that's why it's so clean cut. Because it's going to be sort of like I say vanilla, but I say it in the nicest way, where it's like you might not get much expression from him until he's just breaking you. Like that's probably all it's going to be in his head now. Is like that psycho mentality. I'm just going to hurt you, because it shows here when he attacks Dawkins, and then the match isn't even finished. Like Ford hits a frog splash, and he's in and just rinses. He rinses Ford. I don't know where my brain went there, but he just batters him. He doesn't even wait for like the match to finish. He's not. He doesn't care about Gable winning or losing. He just wants to teach them a lesson. He wants to kind of assert his dominance, and it was quite refreshing to see. It was quite nice to see what he's got going on. I hope this kind of leads to something unique for him. But there's always a worry that once this storyline finishes, where does he line up? Do they just turn him back to how he was, or do they tweak it a little bit for that there? Canada Spaceman saying he still misses the funny Otis. I don't. Weirdly, I'm used to this. I'm okay with it now. I really am.
Yeah,
it's a good little storyline for that.
I've enjoyed. Otis is an example of how character gets you over. When he was the funny Otis, but now as this intense Otis, he's still over with me. I still like him, and that the fact that he was able to transition, whereas I think that was the biggest issue with Tucker. Tucker had no personality. There was no real way to change or transition him, and so Otis was the character. Otis was the money because of that character, and that he showed he could switch. And I think that was the biggest issue, is that Tucker couldn't do that. And so did you lose a good tag team? Yeah, you did. But I think what you're getting in the long run is a character who's going to last you longer than that tag team will.
And you're getting a new tag team that seems to be going a little better. There's a bit more to it. There's a bit more flavor. And Chad Gable works best in a tag team situation.
Yeah, he does.
So it's nice to get them both. It's like they've just cannibalized. Well, I suppose the American Alpha is a bit different because obviously Jason Jordan got injured, doesn't work anymore. But you're effectively cannibalizing two teams to make this one unit that's forming quite a nice relationship and chemistry. is really good to see. It's almost like you get the feeling that Chad is molding him in his image. And it's very athletic looking, very Olympic, very.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him in like the train. You know how Kurt Angle had his gear, like had like the sports jacket and the trousers and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing them cutting about like that all the time, or sort of wearing the jackets to the ring, like puffer jackets, things like that.
Right.
Add to the look. I think they've got a good vibe. I like it.
Right.
I hope it. I'd love to see them as tag team champions, but there's a lot of kind of mess to kind of get through that there. Kind of space on. Do you think Gable can do comedy if they switch Otis into a funny storyline again?
No, I don't think.
No,
Gable doesn't have that. Gable doesn't have that capability.
I think he does. The problem is that they'll just try and do the Shorty G stuff again. I think that's
Well, I think. Well, let me take that. I'm sorry. He could be the straight man.
Mm-hmm.
He could be the straight man in a comedy duo, but to ask him to be a funny character, not going to happen.
Yes,
but he could be a straight man for someone like a funny Otis. He could do that. He could be the setup guy, the straight man for that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
All right. I guess we need to talk about our best of 5 series. Apparently, that we're unofficial best of 5 series.
We're just going to skip the match because I just want to get to the crux of the matter here because I'm raging. Remember 3 weeks ago, I was like, can't wait for King of the Ring, guys. Hallelujah. We're going to get it. No or no. And I was like, I said to the vet last week, I've got the fear. It's slowly fading from me. We're not getting my King of the Ring. And it was just confirmed. The battle for the crown. Are you fucking with me, man? It was right there in front of you the whole time. You've got Ziggler Rude off on the shelf. You've got this whole nonsense with the Intercontinental title picture. Shinsuke Nakamura could be the king. Baron Corbin could be the king. Big E could have had a nice little tournament in there. Let's go over at the Raw side. Keith Lee's still kicking about. You could have given him something to do. How about, I don't know, Drew McIntyre? Give him a break from the title picture. You could have kept Braun Strowman in the company and done this thing. Nah. Let's just have a goofy feud over a crown that means nothing. And it was a prop because King Corbin was born from the King of the Ring, but you don't really need a crown to prove that. This needs to die a death. And I'm gutted because Boogs is there. Boogs has been great. Boogs is great. And the Nakamura's like vibe and the stuff he's doing with Boogs, they've got a great pairing. I like the guitar stuff. I like when Boogs plays him out to the ring, especially when it's timed right with the music that WWE like to put in. But then you do dumb shit like this. It's like, why are we doing this? I mean, there's an open goal right there. You just have to tap it forward and it goes in. And then you decide to do
a bicycle kick.
A bicycle kick. They sky it out of the stands over the. You've hit a granny in the third row. You've ruined her day. Cheers, guys. Son's crying.
You mean grannies don't want balls to the face?
I was like,
sometimes I have to earn my moniker as a Sinister Minister.
Yeah. Corbin using Corbin to troll the marks. We ever heard that before? I don't even think it's that. I genuinely don't believe that they've went to the purpose of making this go tits up. They've just been blind to their own opportunity. I mean, I was right. It was right there. I mean, who in the writing room is not thinking that? I want to know. I want them sacked. I want that guy gone.
Maybe it's that chick that Big Ray was ranting on about that was in the news article this week.
I don't even know who she is, so I don't
either.
I don't even know what to say about her. If she can write good TV, don't give a fuck. That's my thing. You know what? if it's good telly, I'm good, right? As long as you've not committed any crimes, we're cool. But you know, I've said my piece. I'm angry. I just want King. It's not much to ask. It's not. It's like you're given a free pass for some pay-per-views anyway. You know, you could have kept Hell in a Cell in October and done King of the Ring now, or just something. Like, give me something. Like, it's been 3 years since the last King of the Ring, and Baron Corbin won it, and we've had this King Corbin shtick. Time to give it a rest. It's time. Just maybe that's what this battle for the crown is. So then they can give Nakamura the crown. But I feel like it would have meant more if he won a tournament. and beat like the best of the best, or great workers, or have great matches. And you could have had the final as Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura, but no. So that's my thoughts. I don't know what you think of it, but I am not amused.
I was not gonna be. I didn't think they were gonna do a King of the Ring. To be honest with you, it was not. It's one of those things that you just kind of go because here's the thing. It was going to be an extra event. You're going to have to put more work into it. You're going to have to make Shinsuke and Corbin last because you have Money in the Bank, coming. You couldn't turn around fast enough for all of it. I just don't see them. And then logistically, if you're going to add Raw or SmackDown or whatever, I just don't see that working. So I didn't think it was going to be a thing, to be honest with you. I figured this is how it was going to end up. But
we could have had it as like a special, or you did it before as a special.
I would have preferred if they just would have officially said, "Hey, you guys are going to do a best of 5 or a best of 7 for the crown." Hey, we're in basketball playoff season right now, and then hockey playoff season right now. They play the best of 7. Why not do something like that? We've unofficially got a best of 5 going right now because they said you each have won 2. So next week is going to be the battle for the crown. So it's the best of 5 series. So why not just officially say we're doing a best of 7, a best of 5 for the crown, and the winner will be the king of whatever they decide, And so I wish they kind of would have done it that way, then rather than saying, okay, well, tomorrow next week is the battle for the crown, unofficially the end of the best of 5 series. So, although I do have to say there's nothing more enjoyable than an annoyed Baron Corbin. I really like that. There's something enjoyable about it and fun, but this was just something I think, and here's the sad part.
F's saw in the chat, everyone. F's in the chat. Fucking gutted, mate. Sorry.
No. Is they finished with this, and then we had so much talking at the end.
Oh, the last half hour of the show was all talking.
And it was the worst.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, why?
This leads to something that didn't need to happen as well, which I'm very not angry, but I'm just a bit scratching the head at because it's very shoehorned in. We'll do the quick. Obviously, we talked about the battle for the crowns happening. Corbin went into Pearson DeVille's office and they were like, you know what, 2-2, battle for the crowns. We can skip that. Roman Reigns. They go into the locker room. Jimmy calls Reigns a bitch. Big boy, big boots there, sonny boy. And I like this because it was like they had this sort of like clear in the air almost. Because like Jay was like, I'm out. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. You keep pulling me this way, that way. I'm done. Finish. I'm away. So he walks out and then it's just leaves Reigns and Jimmy to hash it out. In a weird way, they found like
it felt like
they were kind of like, because this is what I was wanting to say. Is like Reigns cuts a promo, right? And I don't know about you, but the way he said, how he kind of formed his words and how he got it out, it was a bit like The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's on purpose. It seemed very like a modern, not a mod, yeah, sort of like modern day Rock promo, like ones we've seen before. How he gets words out, how he says things. I got that sort of vibe off him. It's like, okay, I wonder if they're just planting a little seed here, deliberately get him to do it like this. Maybe I'm just thinking too far out the box. My genius is too great for WWE. like those little nuggets of things that come out, little what you call Easter eggs, that pop up there. I thought it was quite nice, but it was very real and emotional. Again, we talked about that earlier on the show. Was so much like emotion and drama coming out of that, and it was like laying it all on the table. It was like all I know is competing. All I know is like fighting to be the best, to be the top of the hill. That's all I've got. Like, it was almost like you said, "What do you want from me?"
Right. And I did like the line too, where he's like, you want to fight me over this? I mean, what are we, kids? We're not kids. We're adults. This is family business. This is like almost like when he said that, it flipped a switch in Jimmy. You kind of see at that moment where he's like, "You want to fight over this? What are we, kids?" Kind of thing. I really liked that line. It was a good line.
Very well done. Very well done.
Pardon me. This is very well done, and I'm interested to see where it goes now because it almost made it feel like Jimmy kind of got convinced by Roman.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Because there was that little bit. I was like, we don't need to be doing this to Jay. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like this about. And
you're the older brother. You're supposed to be looking out. You're the one. I mean,
yeah.
And so I shouldn't have to be doing this with you. You should be taking care of business. You should be. So it was good. It was a good promo. But then we couldn't even end on that.
Oh, you could have ended on that. You really could have ended on that, because it's right. So Rey Mysterio comes out to the ring and he talks about Roman Reigns, and he demands Reigns comes to the ring. He says, "I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you for being the guy that beat up my son. There's been a rat bastard." They tried to get that on there quite nicely.
Yeah.
And he challenges Reigns to a Hell in a Cell match. This escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I feel like Ron Burgundy somewhere like, wow, that escalated quickly. Yeah.
It really did. I mean,
yeah,
if that's what it takes, you just if you want a big old match of Ray, just smack his son about. Bingo.
Okay, so is Dominic really hurt though?
No, he looked fine to me. Well, he will be now. He will be hurt after the match, but when he came to the ring, he looked fine.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was quite nice because like Ray did this thing, he's like, acknowledge with that bastard, and the guy who beat up my son, and it's like, your turn to acknowledge me. It's like, yeah, I acknowledge you as a dad. Bang! Kind of sick out of nowhere, just smacked the crap out of him.
Yeah,
and it was, and ended how you thought it was going to end. Reigns beat up Rey Mysterio, and then, like, because I want to get to the kind of talk about this, so I'll just quickly get the what happened come out. So Rey beats up Reigns with a candlestick. Reigns takes control, batters Rey with a candlestick, punishes him. Then Dominic comes in to help his dad, and it does not end well. Roman Reigns dominates him, and then power bombs him out the ring, and looked like it was supposed. It looked like it was. Well, the way they made it look, it was him hitting the ramp. Obviously,
right.
They wouldn't have done because it's very like soap opera style how they filmed
right.
it. Definitely Matt there. They threw him out the ring, and I think it was supposed to look like he hit the mat or the ramp, and it looked pretty devastating. Like you see the angle when he throws him, like oh, and really well done for covering up on that. And so that was the closing point because when Ray goes to help Dominic, Reigns just boots him in the face.
Yeah,
sit down. And that's how SmackDown went off the air. But again, the bigger issue here was Rey Mysterio getting a world title match at Hell in a Cell, a match that didn't really need to happen. I thought the Mysterios and the Usos was simple enough. You could have just had that there. I was quite content with Roman Reigns having a month off.
Yeah,
because it would work. It would have worked because they don't have a proper challenger there. There's other storylines that goes on. You give more time to a world title matches in Hell in a Cell. I thought Seth Rollins and Cesaro should have been the Hell in a Cell match, or Bianca and Bayley.
Yeah,
they could have been a Hell in a Cell match. You didn't. This doesn't need. That's the other thing. This doesn't need to be a Hell in a Cell match either.
Yeah, it didn't. It's once again.
Ray's taking the pin. There's no getting around that.
Yeah. Go back and watch it, Sonic, and see.
Absolutely.
We'll see what you think. I mean, because everything that I saw anyway, it was just all over the place. You have some good moments, but like this made no sense whatsoever. It was dumb.
They kind of lost the long-term vision for a lot of the show apart from the Reigns. I was going to say apart from the Reigns and Uso stuff, but then because the Mysterio things happened, it's like it's an unnecessary jump in the road because you could have just had the Mysterios and the Usos and have the winning the tag titles the big moment,
Yeah.
And that would have been fine. But for some reason we're getting a Hell in a Cell match. Ray's going to get battered in a cell. Are they trying to write him out? Are they thinking of something differently? It's just,
who knows?
It doesn't add up. It's very quick. What we at Hell in a Cell? A week on Sunday?
I don't even know.
I can't remember. But
that's how frustrating you. She just threw your pin.
Oh, did you see that? Oh shit!
I did. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of got tunnel vision because Money in the Bank, Fort Worth, right there, live shows. Houston Smackdown, Dallas Raw. Thank you, Sonic. We do what we can. We make. What do they say? We make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So
totally.
But that's kind of been my tunnel vision because they're starting off live stuff here in Texas. So I mean, I couldn't even tell you when this next pay-per-view is because I'm looking at a month away
I'll search it just now. Hang on.
Yeah. It's
2021. It's June the 20th, so it is a week on Sunday.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh no, what's today's date? Yeah, it's a week on Sunday.
Yeah.
So very haphazard build for your. It's not even going to be an event. That's the saddest bit. It's like Roman Reigns should not be anything less than main event right now.
Right.
Without a doubt, he's got a main event every show he's on. He's got the best storylines. He's the most well thought out character. He's got depth. He has some great matches. You're only setting him up for big matches from here on out because we talked about the John Cena thing at SummerSlam. Maybe setting up The Rock at WrestleMania next year. So there's only big matches on the horizon for him, or as big as they can make.
Right.
This feels like a step down. It feels like a waste of time. Mm-hmm. This feels like getting Reigns on the card for the sake of getting him on the card. Money in the Bank is the card where everyone's back.
Right.
You can afford to burn this one because you've got, as I say, there's other matches there. You can hold them off.
Yeah.
And do something interesting. You know, there's more they could have done. And I just think this feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It feels like they're just not confident enough to leave them off a show just now. Maybe that's the crux of the issue.
Maybe the thought is that we don't have live crowds yet. We're still going to be in the Thunderdome. We want people to buy the pay-per-view, so we need him on the show.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But, you know, at what cost? At what cost of your storyline are you doing this? You know, and so it doesn't make any sense. It's sad, really. And it was a sad way to end the show. I mean, because, you know, honestly, I'm thinking about that, and it just made me think this was not a great show. So, you know, because there were snippets of really good things in there, but then you just run into some of these other things, and you're like, why? Why are you doing this? What is going on? We just see how much in a shamble they are. Canada Spaceman. Good. I like it. I always appreciate a good Happy Gilmore reference. But you know, I just it feels. I mean, once again, how does Paul Heyman even let this happen? Paul Heyman should be like, no, my guy's not doing this. You know, I mean, he's not doing it. We have a good story in place. Give him the month off. We're gonna have live crowds for Fort Worth at Money in the Bank. Let's do that. You know? It was
good. It's been good TV as well. Like Roman Reigns pulling the strings from the lounge.
Yeah,
I mean, it was really good TV. You know, I'm watching it. Fans are watching it. We're digging it. So why change it now? Because it just seems so random as well. They went for this beat down on the Mysterios when it was like the Usos time. My theory was going to be that Reigns is maybe a little bit jealous because Ray and Dominic are like clicked. They're like father and son.
They're father,
as close as you can get.
Yeah.
And he maybe can't get that from the Usos. Maybe his psyche is just getting to him and he's maybe angry at that. Again, too genius for WWE apparently. You can like it could be there. There's good cause and reason to have this problem that you want to take them out because he's not got that connection that he has with the Usos that he desperately wants because he wants control. That loving relationship where they've bonded and they're close, and it's because of the relationship. Whereas Reigns wants this bond so he can have them in the palm of his hand and he can rule at the head of the table. So that could be interesting. You could have broke that through over months, but we're going to get that probably condensed into a 10-minute promo on next Friday SmackDown.
Next Friday SmackDown. Because Roman Reigns has lost that love and feeling.
Yeah,
that love and feeling. In case you didn't watch Retro Rewind with me and Rad Rob, we talked Top Gun and losing that love and feeling. So I had to throw that in there. But yeah, I mean,
a little bit.
I mean, if I'm going to rate this show, I have to give it a C.
I agree.
It was middle of the road at best. Good points, but for the most part, and then the end just made it disappointing. It really did.
Yeah.
I just because once again they show that there's some potential, but then they go and screw it all up. And I just it's frustrating. I think that's the thing that's frustrating about SmackDown because you see there's some good things that are there, but they're just not being executed. There are things that could be done and they're not being done. So that's my biggest struggle right now when you watch this, So, but hey, that's okay because we're done with this, and I get to go watch live wrestling with my girlfriend. So,
well. Just before we do that, speaking of closing the show, there's one bit of business we always have to do. Now, I've held off UTT Rob for the longest time. I said I was going to do it last week's show, and I had to rush it because I had a total shambles of tech. But now we're all working fine. We can do this. So we always open up the mail sack when we do the Smack Attack. We love it when we get in touch. We love it when you leave your comments in the live chat. We love it when you send us your tweets, your emails. You can tweet us at SmackAttackHMG. You can email us, smackattackhammymedia@gmail.com. You can find us on the Facebook group, Hammy Media Discussion Group there. Leave your comments, questions. We love it when you get in touch with that there. So any questions you've got, we will dig into them. We will deep dive into that there. Thank you very much, Canada Spaceman, for your comment there. Amazing show for the Bellas. But right, so you might remember if you watched the show a couple of weeks ago, UTT Rob gave us a belter of a question, and we're going to go for it in this one. He asked us, if you could pick a pub team made up of SmackDown superstars, who would you pick and which team would win? And this to me felt very drafty to me. So I was kind of thinking,
I don't understand what a pub team is.
So a pub team. I was meant to be pub quiz team. Hang on, can I edit that? Hang on. Yeah, again. Pub quiz team.
Okay.
All right. Football in the brain there. Football in the brain.
I was like, is it about like who can drink the most? Because I can't drink worth of shit. So
well, for us, like pub team's like a 5-a-side football team,
right? Yeah.
Or darts or pool or whatever. But specifically pub quiz team. So we're to pick who we thought for it. And my thinking was kind of, you need someone smart and cunning. You need someone who's a laugh. But you also need someone who's sneaky enough to Shazam music when the music round's on, because you need someone to cheat. Hey, don't judge me, man. I like to win. Okay, I wasn't the guy that Shazammed it, but I knew the guy who did it, and I was like, right now. You know what pub quizzes now? They get people who check to see if you've got your phone out.
Yeah,
you're disqualified.
Yeah, no, it's serious business, man. I mean, yeah, I know guys who make money emceeing those things. Like they go around to different pubs and MC pub night, like Harry Potter night or whatever night, and that's what they do. They're getting paid for that. I'm like,
it's a gig and a half. It's a quality gig when you do it.
I mean, it's better than I guess what I'm doing weddings, but I don't know.
I know. We're in the wrong job, mate. Let's pack this up and just start going to pubs town to town, make some quizzes up, have a ball.
Well, I think I work less. I think I work less with the wedding though, so I might keep the wedding gig. So yeah,
you got a good gig there.
Yeah, it's a good gig.
I can't wait to get back to theater. God, I miss it so bad.
So, all right, so pub quiz team. So we're having to pick 5 people from the SmackDown roster.
Yeah. Oh no, I do have no idea. Should we do it sort of like last time where we picked teams and like, should we pick different people, or do we want to just kind of come together and make like a mega team and see if we can come up with absolute? So like there's me, you, and then other people.
I say we make a show team, and then other people can then
contribute. They can
have their own team and see how they do against us.
Yeah.
So
we'll do it that way. So there's me, there's you, and Paul Heyman's got to be in there, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to have Paul Heyman.
Because he's got this in here. He's got brain cells in there.
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee will have some random knowledge, by the way. He will have like something.
Dude, I'm a fucking random knowledge machine and pop culture machine too. So me and Pat would get along real good. So that would be us two. We said Paul Heyman, Pat McAfee.
I would have Bailey on the team because she'd be the one that would drink too much like vodka mixers and just be like,
like I'm trying to win here. I would kick her off my team real quick.
All right. So we're not going the banter way. We're going for
no. We're trying to whip some ass and win some money.
All right, Bianca Belair then. The other side of the coin. I would have someone if we're cool with cheating. I would have someone like
Seth Rollins.
Like I'd have him as my Shazam guy. Someone who's going to be sneaky enough to have the phone out and just sort of like just keep it like that, I'll just text my name just so you know. Bon Jovi. Right, there we go. Like I don't mind that. Like we need someone sneaky enough to do that. Yeah. Also, someone like that who can be like creep over. This is why I wish Alistair Black was still here, because you could have him do these sort of things where like you could creep over to like other tables, or like the table next to you. If you don't know, you ever do that thing where like the table next to you is speaking a bit too loud.
So you just kind of lean in. See, that's why I think Seth Rollins could do that. He could be that guy,
And he could be your decoy guy as well, because like you could come up with lies, like wrong answers, like just to get people like, I don't know. It's like,
and then people will be watching him because of the drip. I mean,
totally. We need that style game going.
Yeah,
Pat McAfee, Seth Rollins. We got it going on. We got some style going on.
Yeah.
So that's a solid team. So there's me, you, Rollins, McAfee, Bel Air. That's 5. Should we get another one?
Well, no, we got
Heyman. We got Heyman as well.
We got Heyman. We didn't do Bel Air. We went
no, because I said, we went all guys.
We went all guys. I think that's a good, unless one of us wants to. I mean, I don't mind stepping out if Pat McAfee's going to have random knowledge and stuff, and I have random knowledge.
You want to come together this one. You don't want anyone stepping out, because that just means you're leaving.
Because it's a 5-person team, right?
Is it 5-person?
Yeah, usually I see it's a 5-person team. A 3 to 5 is usually what I see.
I don't mind that then, because that's a lads' night out.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Put it that way, lads' night out. I mean, if you want, you can have. If you're a lady, you want to pick a lady team, you can do. Or if you want to mix about, you can do. We're all honest men here, so we have.
Right. So what's our team name? What's our team name? Ooh. That's a tough one. There you go. You got to have a good pub team quiz name. When you go in. So we've got Heyman, McAfee, and Rollins, myself, and yourself. I've got, I think,
Drip Drive. Such a shit name.
Let me think.
Quality radio content.
Okay, so let's be honest. We all at some point do talking for a living, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking something along those lines. Something like speech impediment, or let's see. How about
the gifted of the gab?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Gifted of the gab.
The gifted of the gab. Yeah. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. These are my clients, and we're here to tell you tonight that the gifted of the gab are going to unequivocally appreciate the fact that everyone is here tonight and giving their money so that we may win it in this pub quiz.
One thing you missed, though, is the beginning. She went, "My name is Paul Heyman, and we are the gifted of the gab." There we go. We've won it already.
Yeah,
that's your banker 20 points already for the team name.
There we go. We got it.
And you know what? We've got people in there where you're like, you have like silly names or things like that. Those random rounds you've got to put in a comment or some kind of thing. You've got heads in there that will come up with something ridiculous as well. Genius.
Yeah,
we're winning this all day long.
Oh yeah. All right,
all day long.
Hey, if you're watching, if you're listening, whether you're live or coming back, let us know who your pub team is, and do you think yours can hang with ours? And by the way, bye Sonic. Enjoy that pizza. Little pizza love. But yeah, come up with your pub team and tell us who you would pick, and do you think you could challenge ours? Ours is pretty superior. So
I think we've got a solid team. I think we've got a really solid.
We got a pretty solid team. You guys do have the advantage of an extra superstar than us, but I think we took the best ones. So
shits and giggles. I wish we could get them all in. Just have like a massive like pub quiz. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be great. And by the way, so that means you cannot take McAfee, Heyman, or Seth Rollins. Those are all off the table. You cannot use those for your roster. Anybody else is available to you because they're on our team, and our team wins. The gifted of the gab. So, that's let us know how you would pick with that handicap in place, and know that you will lose because we're superior. So I think that's it for the day. This
has been quite a fun show. It's been a bit of a silly show as well. It can happen.
I'm just saying. If you're not in an Oppo suit next week when Kiefer Bartek comes on and we're doing the Seth Rollins drip challenge, you're not a fan. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I know. What are we even doing?
What are we doing?
I'll look out the suit. I'll look out for that. Yeah, I got to do some cool stuff. You know, to be fair, I did wear some drip for the award show back in.
You did. I will. I did. I wore the bow tie.
Bing.
I had a bow tie.
Bow ties in unity, by the way. Everyone else is like t-shirt, whatever, and I'm like, nah, tux.
I had a dress shirt, jacket, bow tie. I was looking dapper.
I was only on for 2 minutes, but I made the effort.
Okay, Wolfers has already submitted his team. Before we go, real quick, Bel Air, Zane, Jimmy J, and Corbin. I want to lose in style.
Here, you won't win, but I tell you what, Sami Zayn will get you a good cheaters game.
Oh yeah,
that's your cheater right there. I think if we didn't have Rollins, I would have went for Zayn.
Now, Wolfers, you're on that team. You've got to drop one of those guys. You can't have 6. You've already got 5 there. You got to drop one.
Jimmy or Jay, they're both the same apparently.
Yeah. So Wolfers, you got to drop one because you're on that team too. You don't get to leave yourself out. You're the glue. So
well, you could be the coach. You could be coaching that team.
No, you got to be in
quiz teams out there. There are people like have a proper like. I don't know if it's like a club, but they band together as quizzes.
Yeah. But you still got to be participating. Oh, he drops Corbin.
Yes, good man. Getting rid of Corbin because he won't know. To be fair, I feel like Corbin would have random knowledge though.
Yeah,
he seems like he's got like such like a heel heat to him, but then he'll come out with something like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool."
Yeah. But no, I think dropping Corbin is your best bet there, Wolfers. So, all right, so that's everything I think we've got for today. So let's kick it on home.
Wrap this bad boy up. Yeah, so if you enjoyed that, we love getting the mail sack. As I say, get in touch with us any way you can. Twitter at SmackAttackHMG, email smackattack@hammymedia@gmail.com, Facebook group, Hammy Media Discussion Group, some of the best content you'll get out there for that. You've got pay-per-view pick'ems, we do chats, there's live stream stuff that goes on as well. William Alicia has some of the best news content around, so always keep there. He's got his ear to the ground on absolutely everything. This is a guy who gets content months in advance. Like we talked about the sale of WWE being a thing way back at the beginning, not even at the beginning of the year, before the beginning of the year, and now it's starting to come to light that it might happen. So he's got record, he's got history. He will nail this stuff on the head. So trust his news content as much as you can. You can follow anything that we're on here. You've got the Hammy Media Network on YouTube, Twitch. You'll find us on the Podbean feed for the affiliates where your show, John, the Academy podcast resides.
Yes, we are going to start back recording just between sickness and Triple D's been just swamped. He has been working 10, 12 days straight. They're short on work. So I'm going to let him take care of his business, so we will have an episode coming. We just, he needs to kind of get
other things going on.
Life, So I'm not going to rush him. Whenever he's ready, then we'll go from there. So we haven't forgot about you guys. Life happens sometimes.
Yeah, there's so much going on as well. Like we've got this new network coming up as well. Vince Russo got the dollar bills out and paid for. So I'm excited for that to see what happens there. Join our friends, the beautiful people, the A show. So much stuff going on. That's on the Patreons. Get on the Patreons if you can. Beautiful People podcast is one of the most popular things that have come out recently. Doing some great stuff over there. The A Show podcast with Aaron Stevens and your friend April.
Yeah, I will be there actually at the end of this month.
I know
I'll be on the A Show, so it'll be fun.
Let me know how you get on. I'd love to jump on at some point.
Okay. Well,
I'm not cool enough.
Well, no, mine is they're having me on as like unsung heroes, people who do work, with my job and everything like that. So it's more of what we're doing. I think I'll be on there. They said about 15, 20 minutes.
I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to have a great time down there. I think there's so much you can get into a deep dive that I think you'll get to hear in that interview. I don't want to big it too much, but I think you'll hear things not just about your work and what you put in, because you put in loads of work, like the background and everything. I think what we talk about in this podcast is the tip of the iceberg. But I think you'll actually get some interesting stuff out of April and Aaron from their perspective on the matter as well, which I think it's going to be a great listen. It's going to be a great time to dedicate like an hour or two to. So definitely get on the Twitch stream when John's on. Listen to it through Patreon, wherever you get your podcast from when it becomes available. Check that out as well. I'm that there. Rad, you were on Rad Rob's podcast as well.
Yeah, the retro rewind that was 2 weeks ago. That was good. So Red Rob, if you're not watching or listening, you can watch live every Wednesday on the Hami Media Group YouTube channel, or he releases it on the affiliate feed on Sundays, where he's reformatted the show where he's talking just retro in general. I think this week he's having former WWE superstar on. So Rad Rob has got some pull, my friends, and
He's
he gets some great guests.
Yeah,
and he's enjoying. I mean, we had a ton of fun talking Top Gun since the new Top Gun was supposed to be out this summer, and when we were recording the show, they decided to tell us that, oh yeah, by the way, we've moved it to November. And I'm like, you sorry sons of bitches.
They want that cinema money, yo.
Well, it's the summer. You got it. I mean, you were going to have it July 2nd, which is right before 4th of July. I mean, what more America do you want than that? And that's going to be a big old weekend. And then you go push. Granted, okay, November 19th is my birthday's on the 22nd, so that's 4 days before my birthday. Okay, I'm not mad at that, but still, I'd rather watch it in the summer. That's just the whole point of it. Yeah. But but we had fun talking Top Gun and just different aspects of it, the money, the things that happened, the Easter eggs, the behind the scenes. Talking about things like the Pepsi commercials that were a part of it. We talked about the video game that was released, that was a Top Gun video game. All those kind of cool things. He does a great job helping talk and discuss and lead all that kind of stuff. So if you're not checking that out, go check it out right now. It's good stuff.
Yeah, done. Yeah, I need to kind of come up with something. I'm trying to think of something like to talk about in depth. I feel like it's gonna be like video gamey or something like that. Because my stuff's so British. I'm like Seaside Holidays. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh,
we don't know what that is.
Like Blackpool or fucking Scarborough Bay. He's not gonna know anything about that. So I'm like,
you could talk Doctor Who, Blackadder, Mr. Bean. I mean, those are
Mr. Bean, by the way. What was that?
Yeah.
Oh man, we could talk about British comedy before.
Yeah, Faulty Towers. Monty Python.
I like about that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to take Rob on a journey with me. Like, come with me.
And you'll see a world of imagination.
Like, come to Hugh and Laurie, chewing the fat, still game, behold the nonsense we have. But but it's been great. There's so much going on. We've got the Realm Network, as I say. I did not forget the name, don't worry. But like the Realm Network's coming up, so we've got all things moving. We're on the ground, so keep it all things Hammy Media Group. It's Spit and Image Gam. By the way, a little bit outside of my time, but Spit and Image was first rate. I don't really rate the modern day Spit and Image because it's not quite the same, but Spit and Image was quality back in the day. But yeah, keep things all locked on everything Hammy Media Group, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on it's on Twitch, whether it's on YouTube, on the Realm Network, on Podbean, on Patreon. We're everywhere, and it's only going to get bigger from here. And now that there's no technical difficulties, hopefully you stay on the journey for the Smack Attack as well. Thank fuck, we got through one without any problems. But for myself, James McIver, my partner in crime, John Enright, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you as always. It's been a pleasure talking to you, the listener, the viewer. Keep at it. We'd love to hear from you. So look after yourselves, look after each other, and we'll see you next week for another edition of the Smack Attack. Cheery!